What is currently happening, programs? Welcome to the Grid VR, where I'll be bringing you this week's news in virtual reality. It's Friday the 2nd of June 2017, and all I can say this week is it's all happening down in Vive Town. We've got Star Trek Bridge Crew released, Samsung's killer new panels, HTC and Intel's new wireless tech, HTC's big win, Oculus staff clowning around, and much more. Today, I'm going to cover off the main events to keep you in the loop. So stay locked, crush that like button, enjoy, and welcome to the Grid VR.
What is currently happening, YouTube? Facepalm here, your friend in Oz and NZ, bringing you reviews, tutorials, and game clips, minus the shit. You can follow me on Twitter at Facepalm with a 1, not an L. As for here on YouTube, if you like what you find, then like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to bring your game face. Let's get it done. Captain's log. Stardate ABCD HTCP easy as 1, 2, 3. We've been in uninhabitable space for days now with no sign of light, or the toasted sandwich I put together on Monday, which is now probably cold. Ensign Ted and First Officer Optimus have been— wait, what's that? Oh shit, I'm in my wardrobe. Yo, I've been here for like 3 days. I just wanted to take a piss in the middle of the night, man. Damn, we were forced to eat 7 of 11 to stay alive too. Yeah. What a time to emerge though, because Star Trek Bridge Crew beamed into our HMDs this week, and it's beautiful. And thanks to a bug with the Oculus store, some got it a couple of days ahead of others. Lucky programs. Developed by Red Storm Entertainment and published by Ubisoft, this cross-platform co-op beauty allows Rift, Vive, and PSVR users alike to play with each other. That came out wrong. So for the first time in uncharted space, we are all one big community, which for me is the glimmering hope in the stupid Rift versus Vive war that the world seems hell-bent on having lately, and of which I want no part of. The game has all the trademarks of a tricky adventure as you and other players around the world work together, and I mean really work together, aboard the retro lollipop-themed Starship Aegis as you endeavour to find a new home for the terminally humorless Vulcans. And despite what half of the quadrant were claiming before launch, the game doesn't use Steam VR, and the Oculus SDK does run in the background, which means ASW and other Rift performance improvements do their thing for Rift users. Nice. A Reddit user has also shared a method on how to get 20% off this game from Steam on launch, so check the description below for a link to that thread. And on top of all of this, Star Trek Bridge Crew will come free with every Vive until the end of June, which is wicked, man. And I'll have my own unique brand of review up for this game next week, so stay locked for that one. Until then, beam on board, live long, and prosper. On the hardware side of things, a Reddit user named Krenzo has snapped a couple of pics of Samsung's new display panels at the Samsung booth during Display Week 2017. The panels sported a 3.5-inch 858 ppi 2024 by 2200 pixel per eye screen and showed an image of Where's Waldo, or Where's Wally if you grew up on the south side of the swamp. And to point out the stark difference between these new panels and what we have now, Samsung had another headset with 3.5-inch 460 ppi 1080 by 1200 pixel per eye panels, which is what we would currently see in an Oculus Rift or an HTC Vive right now. The new panels represent a substantial improvement in perceived quality from current gen screens, and the most apparent benefit was reduced SDE, aka screen door effect, which if you own a Rift or Vive and wondered what the name for that fine mesh that seems to be covering everything was, that's it. SDE is caused when you can see the physical gap between the pixels that make up a screen. And while it's never really bugged me that much, it's one of those things that once you see an improvement this drastic, you suddenly realize that what you've been looking at the whole time up to this point has actually been kind of average. And it also points out that there is a lot of room for further improvement. But with that improvement comes greater hardware requirements. And with current gen consumer computing, there is no way in hell screens like this could live up to their full potential as the hardware and software stands right now, unless something like foveated rendering and eye tracking were involved, as both of these technologies drastically reduce the amount of graphical lifting power required to run such high density images on such high quality displays. And they do this by only rendering the part of an image you are looking at directly in high quality, while the rest of the image is rendered at a lower quality. So the sooner that technology gets here en masse, the sooner we can strap these panels to our faces and watch the world burn. In saying that, the new panels haven't been scheduled for a release as yet of any kind, and it is likely to be a reasonable wait, as tech demos like this generally show off tech a year or so in advance ahead of when they actually pop into consumer devices. Still, the future looks bright and more legible. Also in tech, Intel has shown off an HTC Vive using their wireless WiGig technology, which enables, you guessed it, wireless VR. There are a few wireless solutions cropping up at the minute, the most notable of which is the soon-to-be released TPcast, which uses the wireless HD standard instead. Now, I can't wait to ditch the cables and get wireless, but from what I've seen so far, these solutions all add extra weight, are bulky, and have to be bought separately, which means more money. In addition, the TPcast has a battery life quoted between 90 to 120 minutes, which isn't actually that long as far as gaming sessions go. And currently, I'm kinda inclined to prioritize a light, comfy, cabled HMD that won't run out of battery mid-game, where I could just use cable management like this, over an uncomfortable battery-limited wireless solution. Though Vive's upcoming deluxe audio strap could possibly bring Vivers the best of both worlds, if it helps these units balance out more. Either way, the more big-name companies tackling wireless solutions, the better, and wireless is definitely the go moving forward. And briefly, HTC has also announced that its mobile, Japan-only Link headsets, which I covered in last week's grid video, will not be exclusive to HTC's new U11 phones, and so this HMD could see sales by owners of other smartphone brands, provided those smartphones support DisplayPort USB-C, and they live in Japan. And on top of all this HTC news, the Vive won Product of the Year at the European Hardware Awards 2017. Now, I do need to point out here, the judges scored the Vive with wands versus the Rift without touch controllers. So it does seem a little unbalanced and kind of devalues the whole award system they have going on, which for the life of me, I can't actually figure out what system they are using exactly. But you know what? Fuck it. It's a win for VR in general, and I'm all for it. And you know what else? The Vive is a fucking kick-ass piece of kit whichever way you slice it. So congrats to HTC and their Vive brand. Well done. On the Oculus/Samsung/Google front, Google's Chromecast now has full support for the Gear VR. The Chromecast plugs into your HDMI compatible TV and then streams what you see in your Gear VR to your TV for everyone else in the room to see. And all you need is the latest version of the Oculus mobile app on your Samsung device and a Chromecast obviously, and then you can just hit cast. Simples. In addition, you can plug the Chromecast into something like an Elgato capture card and record high quality outputs of what you see inside the Gear VR. So if you're a mobile VR content creator, get recording and send me some links. Also, the Oculus debug tool now includes a frame drop indicator which pops up and notifies you of when your Rift is dropping frames and your experience may be lesser due to inadequacies with your PC's performance. This is a great addition and easily lets you keep an eye on when and where your PC is struggling to hit that ever-lauded 90 FPS. And finally, the Oculus team has posted this hilarious picture of themselves testing and bridge crew, though it is quite obvious by the pic that only one of these guys actually means business. And that's this week in VR on the Grid. If you have more you would like to add, then hit me up in the comments below and let's discuss. And if you like this video, then crush that like button, hit the XO logo to subscribe if you want to see more content, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!